I'm Dave Cathey, the Food Dude, and I'm here today with Bruce Edwards. You may remember Bruce as Director of Urban Harvest for the Regional Food Bank for a long time. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you.
Now, Bruce, you have left the Regional Food Bank. Tell me a little bit about what's going on these days with you.
Well, I had the great opportunity to work with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma for almost 8 years, and this past spring I decided to move on, and I've actually been working with a nonprofit organization called Maisha International.
Talk to me a little bit about Maisha International, another amazing story.
Well, the organization was started by Beatrice Williamson, who was born and raised in Kenya, and she came over here on a scholarship to study. And about 2 years ago, she was touring the food bank and Urban Harvest. And what's kind of funny is she got all excited when she saw what we were doing there with the tilapia and the composting, and she said, Bruce, you've got to come to Kenya. And I kept saying, no, I don't know anything about Kenya. And she said, oh, no, you don't understand. So I went over last Christmas and was basically simply amazed by what I found. I mean, we have a village of primarily orphans. Many of them were on the street at one time with nothing to eat, and Beatrice and about 40 or 50 widows have developed a foster care program type situation where they're raising money to pay adults to take in these children. So it's not a formal institutional type orphanage per se, and they provide food and once a day, and then educational scholarships and other things for these children. And what they wanted to do was to establish a garden or a farm to be able to raise their own food. And of course, when I heard that kind of bit, because my thing has always been about people taking more responsibility for their food. And so I went over, I saw what the need was, and it was interesting because they had no tools to work with. I mean, there's no money. I mean, 48% unemployment rate, educational rate is just atrocious. So we set in right away by buying tools, and then we started digging raised beds. I saw that when they do have rain, that it tends to wash away things, and the soils are bad. So we did two things. We started talking about composting, and then we started talking about how to grow and raise beds. And so that was the start of it last Christmas for a 2-week trip.
Very cool. And you've got another trip planned coming up.
Yes, we're going back. A group of us are going back the 13th of October. We'll be there for about 2 weeks. And talked about the fact that we built these gardens. And when I left there last time, I said, if you want me to come back, if you really want help from people in Oklahoma, and that's how we got there, was through sponsorships and donations to get there to do this, that you have to do the work. And they said, we will do the work because we don't want a handout, we want a hand up. And so it's been kind of amazing to watch over the spring and summer the fact that they're growing okra and black-eyed peas and corn and onions and tomatoes and things. And they're adding this to their diet. Before, they would have beans and rice once a day. And you can see the nutritional problems with that. So now they're actually, they're doing that, and they're doing it with their own hands, and they're so excited about it. So when we go back this time, we're going to be improving the garden beds. We're going to be doing more work on composting, but also we're adding a vermiculture structure where we'll introduce worms and rabbits to where they can raise rabbits for their poop to feed the worm, but also there's a meat thing there. We're moving the chicken coop away from the outdoor cooking area to the composting area. And we are going to put in a small hoop house, which they're all excited about because they feel that's like they've arrived. They actually have a structure for gardening. A greenhouse or a hoop house is really cool. So, and then we're also working with another organization called Water 4, which is another Oklahoma organization. And a man named Eric is going to be going with us over to head that up. And we're going to be drilling 2 water wells. Right now they're hauling water about 500 yards from the only well within a several mile radius to water each individual plant. So we're trying to put in one water well at the back of the shambas. Shambas is Swahili for garden. Shambas of Maisha, or gardens of life, and another one close to the composting area.
Let me know, how can people help out with this?
Well, we are a very small nonprofit, and so therefore right now we are depending upon, of course, prayers and well wishes and things of that nature, but it does take money, and so I think we're going to flash up a thing later about where to send donations, but it's Maisha International. And if you're interested in helping the gardens area, as far as either sending me or sponsoring projects, you just designate it for the garden or the agricultural program, or put Bruce Edwards' name on the bottom of your check, and you will get reports on this and updates. You can follow me on Facebook, Bruce Edwards. There's always lots of pictures on there, and there's plenty of pictures right now from our last visit, and it's just pretty exciting to see the fact that they really, really, really want to do it themselves.
Very cool. Well, Bruce, thanks for joining us today, and best of luck in Kenya.